Hello everyone. This is a brief demo to show you how you can understand your health better. We'll show you how an AI technology, machine learning, provides you key insights about your health. Let's take your heart health as an example here, so that we will demonstrate machine learning for key insights about the health of your heart. There are several important parameters about your heart and its systolic blood pressure. The systolic blood pressure is influenced by various healthy practices like adequate sleep, exercise, medication, a host of others. This is true in general for everyone as best area practices. But then there are individual differences that are particularly relevant for you and you alone, and not as much for others. For instance, how many hours of sleep do you typically require? How does your body react to a medication? And so on and so forth. The demo will show you how machine learning discovers specifics about the health of your heart, the particulars applicable to you. So as we start with this machine learning exercise, let me take you through the specifics of how it can be done. So I'm going to share with you the training data, and it's a simple Excel spreadsheet. You see, machine learning needs to be trained to understand how your heart behaves. It needs training data. Well, here it is. A simple Excel spreadsheet documenting various parameters that influence your systolic pressure. For example, hours of sleep at night. Whether or not, here's another input parameter, whether or not you had a heavy breakfast that morning. Here's a third one, minutes of aerobic exercise, and so on and so forth. You record these readings diligently, one per day, and in the end, you have a spreadsheet of various parameters that influence your blood pressure, the last being what you want to study. This is what you want to gain insights about, the systolic pressure. Now, generally, it's considered that in recent practices that 130 or higher millimeters of mercury is considered high systolic blood pressure. Between 120 to 130 rather, it's considered okay, and anytime you're below 120, 110, around that range, it's considered normal. So that's how we follow these practices. So a very simple way you have all these input parameters and that you've documented, one per day, and also what was your systolic blood pressure that day. And you have about 100 such rows, as you can see, collected over 100 days, and you've created your training data. That's simple. Okay, so let's move on to the actual machine learning exercise itself so that we can quickly get to these insights about how your heart behaves. So here's the EazyML machine learning portal. Now we're going to train the intelligent machine on this machine learning platform using the training data we just looked at. Now we'll use the fast accelerated mode, and typically we'll keep hitting next. So we'll upload the training data, yes. And here's the training data that we'll upload. This is what you just created. Now the machine is going about its job processing the training data. And then it stops and says, okay, what do you want insights about? What do you want me to have intelligence about? What do you want me to be able to predict? And you say, well, systolic blood pressure is what I'm interested in studying. Hit next. and it keeps going, and it says, okay, first module done. Now, let's build a statistical model from the processed training data. So these are predictive models that will be able to give you the insights. That's what machine learning is all about. So here we go again. And ultimately, it's creating several models. And there are various mathematical models that we'll build, and whichever one's the best performer, it will list such and request you to confirm before it proceeds with providing you the insights. Fairly quick process, and lo and behold, here's the information. It says this particular model, boosted decision trees with information gain, has the highest accuracy, and that's what I would recommend. We'll stick with what the machine says, so we'll just go with it. Look at the key insight that it's provided here. It's actually telling you that what's most important for you is how much you exercise. That plays a very important role, 36%. Next is you better not stress yourself out, 23%. And yes, do get a good night's sleep. And of course, long evening walks helps as well. And then medication, for some weird reason, is not as important for this particular person. Okay, let's keep rolling. Good insights. All right, now we are ready to make these predictions from the best model that the machine created. And it says, okay, you want me to make predictions, upload a file from which I can read in the input parameters and make the prediction. Well, what is that file? Let me show you. It's again a very simple file that is called the test data. And there you go. Notice this file has the exact same input parameters here, right? You can see it has got hours of sleep and heavy breakfast and aerobic exercise minutes and medication if you had in the morning, hopefully you didn't forget, etc., etc., etc. Aha! What it's missing is the last column there, which was the systolic blood pressure in the training data file that we earlier saw. In this Excel spreadsheet, that's missing. Why so? Because the machine, the particular statistical model, decision tree in this case, is ready to predict. It doesn't need those labels now. It will give you what those labels are. All right? So that's your test data file. Okay, so good. Now we are going to go ahead and make those predictions. Upload that file, the test file that is, that we just saw. There it is. And here it's made the predictions for us. So these are the predictions that it's made. The first one, it says if you had 8 hours of sleep, that should be good, but didn't exercise a whole lot, and your work stress level was high, then you end up having a high systolic blood pressure greater than 130. Oh really? Why is that? Now comes the insight, specific to you. Let's go find out. Why does the machine think? So here, I'm choosing the first one, the one that we just looked at, and it tells you the reason why. It says, well, you did not walk in the evening just before you take your blood pressure. You did not go out for long walks. And your aerobic exercise, you ran on the treadmill for only 12 minutes, which is less than equal to about 20 minutes. And your work stress level was high. Aha! So it seems that we must exercise for more than 20 minutes for our heart to start to optimally pump and then result in lower blood pressure. Critical insight that is specific for you. For others, maybe 10 minutes, 12 minutes, 15 minutes does it, but for you, it seems from your training data that you need to at least exercise for 20 minutes. See, those are the key things that machine learning gets you on this EazyML platform. Hope you understood the power of what machine learning can do in terms of providing critical insights.